Okay, so this video is just going to be me talking about Walking Dead and how angry and how exciting and how amazing and weird it is. Makes me feel, I guess. I don't know, I'm tired. I can't think straight. But yeah, so let's start off with my favorite character or favorite characters. They were Shane, Daryl, Rick, or R, since some of them are still alive. Then Andrea, and now Michonne. So 5. First off, Shane. When I first started watching it, I was watching the first season back to back. So, first impression of him was, he was good looking. I liked how he was buff and strong looking, and he had that aura around him that he was very alpha male. When he was in the car with Rick, talking about women and how Rick apparently doesn't talk enough or argue with Lori enough. Shane, obviously, as you learn throughout the whole thing, he was a ladies' man, womanizer, went from one girl to the next and so on. Never settled down. He was pretty much the opposite of Rick, the polar opposite. Maybe secretly someone he wanted to be, outspoken, more aggressive, more, outgoing, I guess you could say, when it came to leading or whatever this situation, I guess. Rick in the beginning is very passive, so he wakes up from a coma for who knows how long. I'm thinking weeks, maybe, in a world that's gone to shit, pretty much, whereas Shane was, went through it, That's another thing that was the difference, is Shane was awake and knew what was going on and could prepare and get Lori and Carl out of there. He was a leader, He was there for a while, with them, and he was their leader for who knows how long. And then, Rick comes on his white horse to save the day, as he always does. And that's just how Rick is, Which I love about Rick, he is always there to, save the day, essentially, to be there and to protect everybody. It doesn't matter what he'll do. He'll do it for the group, and his family. Shane, he would do anything too, but it was for mostly Lori and Carl's benefit, to get them to become his family, to essentially steal them from Rick, even though he thought Rick was dead. But there's so many things he could have done to check, like the pulse, but he didn't do that because he was freaking out. He didn't want to die. He wanted to save, he wanted to be Lori's knight in shining armor, pretty much. He wanted to save the day. He wanted to be Rick, pretty much. And I think that's what the problem was, is Shane tried too hard to replace Rick too quickly. He wanted what Rick had because he saw how happy he was, but he wanted to be in his place, I guess. Wanted a wife, wanted a family, but never did, because that's not how, he was. I think the worst mistake he made was sleeping with Lori and looking into it as she loved him. Because Shane, very emotional, very aggressive, very okay, this is who I am, you know, I'm not gonna bullshit, not gonna beat around the bush, you know. I'm not gonna think about it, I'm gonna do it because it's the right thing to do, you know, morally, maybe not so much, but in his eyes, and most likely is the right thing to do, like with the barn incident. What else? The whole Otis thing, I mean, like, I don't know, I guess, he was thinking of Carl, you know, and the whole I want to be with Lori, I want Lori and Carl, you know, thing too, was more of that than it was to actually, you know, it was more to get in Lori's favor, pretty much, to get in her good graces, pretty much, to show her that he's willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to protect him, protect Carl, and essentially herself. There's so many times where his craziness and his darkness was showing, and still, he, you know, he could have redeemed himself many times, but like I think he redeemed himself sort of when it came to Carl getting shot and being there for Rick and being the brother essentially to him that he needed. But it all went downhill after that. Everything with Otis, after essentially killing, quote unquote, killing Otis. Because he technically didn't kill him, he shot him and left him to get eaten. So technically he didn't kill him, the zombies did. So, whatever. But that's a whole nother thing. Oh god, I'm so tired. But anyway. So yeah, it just, after the whole Otis incident, it just went downhill and he wanted to be the leader. And Rick is a crazy motherfucker. And I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's crazy. He's a closet psychotic psychopath. But, I mean, who wouldn't be in that situation when people you love are in danger, people you care about start to develop feelings as in family, you know, the group is essentially his family as well, are dropping like flies, and it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do, you know, I'm losing so many people, I'm trying to save these people, and I can't do anything right according to them, pretty much. And the season finale, you know, pretty much Rick just told them to all F themselves, you know, he's the leader, no one's gonna be voting about anything anymore. But anyway, the whole Shane thing, yeah, it just, that episode, I was still a Shane fan. I'm still a Shane fan, even though he's a douchebag and was egging Rick on and on, saying so much crap to him to make him do that. And I think secretly Shane wanted him to do it because he wasn't gonna get Lori. She pretty much stated, oh, you know, I'm with Rick, you ain't gonna have me, but I'm sorry for that and making you feel feelings for me. You can't say sorry to someone who feels feelings for you. You can't say, I'm sorry you love me, blah blah blah. Go on about your day, do laundry, be wife and whatnot. You just can't do that to a man who loves you so much, who's like killed people literally for you, done so much shit for your son. You can't just do that. She should have just shut up. She shouldn't have said anything to him. She should have just been like, okay, whatever, whatever, you know. She should have said nothing along those lines. Should have never given him hope that she could have been with him, essentially. And that's what made him snap, is he wasn't going to have her as long as Rick was around, so he did that. And I think at the end he's like, whatever, Rick, I can't kill my friend, best friend, you know. Which, I think, like I said, I think Shane wanted Rick to do it because he was tired of not being Rick. He was tired of not doing what the group thought was right. He was the Dark Knight and Rick's the White Knight. And, you know, the Dark Knight was always, you know, casted out and seen as a bad guy, and pretty much Shane was the antagonist for this. But I mean, you can't help feeling bad for him because, I mean, he fell in love with a woman that made him feel for her and her son. But yeah, just the whole him egging Rick on to do that, just, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I cried more for Rick because he had to do that to save his family and the group. And then Carl shooting zombie Shane just made it even worse. It's like, really, you're adding insult to injury. And just Rick is just not Rick anymore. He's Psycho Rick. He's like, I ain't taking anybody's shit anymore, Rick. You're gonna do this, or you're gonna go out and you're gonna go kill yourself, pretty much. I like the Rick. I like this new Rick because he's not gonna back down. He's not going to let someone walk over him. And he's not going to let people push him to make a decision they believe is right. He's going to do what he believes is right, and they're going to do it whether they like it or not, because he's a leader, and if they don't listen, they can walk out and essentially get eaten because they ain't got Rick or Daryl. Oh, so cold. But anyway, this one's always all about Shane. What the hell? Like I said, I could go on about Shane, but anyway, Rick is another one. Rick, beautiful blue eyes. But I like Andrew Lincoln anyway. I mean, like when I started watching this, like a while ago, I started watching his stuff of him being in the show Teachers on BBC, and him in his English regular accent. And he's funny. He's an actually funny guy. And it's funny when you watch him play Rick, who's, this psychotic man who's trying to save his family, which I think if it was anybody in his situation, they would eventually break, and just start snapping and whatnot. And he's essentially turning into the man that he never wanted to be, but he has to be that way because of how things are going and how people are treating him. Like he said, he wasn't going to be bullied anymore by Shane. So what else? Just like Rick in the very beginning, you could see that there was something dark inside him, that he was hiding something inside of him, that he never let out. Maybe when it came to, criminals and people he was taking out and stuff as a cop. But never, on regular people, innocent people. But that moment with Merle on the roof, you could see it come out, And as the show progresses, you see it more and more. And that ruggedness that he has now because of the facial hair and everything, it just makes him look even more sinister. And I think this new Rick that is coming out is scaring Lori and everybody. But Daryl's like, hell, this is how this guy's supposed to be. This is how he's, supposed to do things. He's finally getting this. But it, took him killing his best friend. Which, I mean, Daryl didn't give two shits about Shane because he knew Shane was a douchebag and killed Otis and killed Randall, so. And I like the whole Daryl being Rick's right-hand man. I think it's cool because Daryl's like, dude, I'm at your side. I'm gonna do whatever you want me to do. So I think that's cool. That whole part is cool. Oh, what else? Oh God. But yeah, I like how Rick's doing this now. He's my favorite character besides Daryl on there, and like I said, I like Andrea and Michonne. Once she starts getting her screen time, hopefully she'll be as crazy as she was in the comics. But talk about Daryl. Oh, Daryl, he's so. Oh, jeez. I love Norman Reedus, and I've loved everything he's been in, especially Boondock Saints. This is going to be a long video, so if you don't want to watch the really long video, then don't watch mine about Walking Dead, so, yeah, Daryl, I think he's really cool. He's a lot calmer and more cool and collective than his brother. He's slightly less racist, but you know he still is when it comes to T-Dog and Glenn. But he just makes, you know, little bit jokes here and there. And like in the very beginning, he was very angry and very, you know, not sure what his place and stuff. And he, you know, sort of found his place when it came to Sophia. And when she died, he was pretty much like, whatever, you know, going off on my own here. And then when it came down to the whole Shane thing and the Randall thing, Daryl finally found his niche and started to fit in, and is now, you know, Rick's guy. So his character is very interesting. He was abused as a child. You know, he never had a mother, and his father was always drinking, and his brother was always doing something to get in juvie. So he pretty much raised himself. I like when he says he was in the woods when he was younger. He got lost in the woods and wiped his butt with poison oak. Poor kid. That had to be horrible. But like the whole Daryl is just, he doesn't care. He really doesn't. He's like, whatever, I'm gonna do this. This is how it's gonna be done. Whatever, you know, this world isn't, you know, kind anymore, but his world was never kind to him anyway. So I mean, if you see, you know, when Carol is always trying to you know, make him feel better, he's like, oh, whatever, you know. But like lately he has like let her in, you know. She is essentially his mother, you know, his mother figure, and you know, he needs that. Well, when Carol, you know, is like talking to Daryl and saying, you know, I don't trust Rick and he's just using you, it's like, really? You're gonna cross that line after Rick, first off, kept that secret from you, which is, okay, we're all infected, so if we die, we're turning anyway. I mean, I would have kept it too. I would have been like, you know what, I'm not gonna say this because it's gonna make everybody panic and like, it's just gonna be hell. And another thing is the whole killing Shane thing. So essentially in her mind she's like, well, he could kill any one of us if, you know, and she's essentially gonna get herself killed or something if she keeps doing that, because Rick ain't gonna tolerate it, you know. Not now anymore, you know. I'm not gonna, like, you know, I'm not gonna tolerate, you know, little alliances trying to get me out of here when I'm the one that's risked everything to keep you guys here. So I don't know. I'm seeing Carol as gonna end up being like Patricia in the comics at the prison, where she's gonna let Dexter and Andrew have the guns and try and overrun the group, and it just ends up in chaos. But I don't know, like, I just, you know, the whole series is not going to end well because, you know, apocalypses like this, the whole zombie thing doesn't just end, you know. It's not like, oh, we ran out of zombies, so we're alive still. No, it don't work that way, because there's going to be dead bodies, and since it is airborne, it is going to essentially turn everybody that dies, natural causes or whatever. You know, it's just like, you know, you ain't going to outrun it, so essentially everyone's going to die anyway. But the thing is, with these comics and these shows, you get attached, and when someone dies, you're like, well, what the hell, you know? Which is what I love about it, is that you get attached and you have feelings for these people. And that's what I love about any show like that, is, you know, the dramas that are good, like this one, is you feel for these characters, you know, and you know them, and you grow with them, and you see how they evolve, and it's just like, wow, you know? Andrea, oh wow, she's really evolved. She's come from, oh no, my sister, you know, I'm gonna kill myself, to I don't fucking care anymore. I'm gonna take a gun and I'm gonna shoot as many walkers as I can to protect this group. She's like, I'm not gonna be the woman doing laundry, acting like everything's okay, when it isn't. So I'm gonna go out there and, you know, take out as many as I can. And, you know, that's what you gotta do. You can't be, you know, like Lori. You can't. You know, and she's not even a mother to Carl unless he's in danger. Then she's freaking out when it's her fault. And it makes me wonder, how the hell did he get out of that room when he was upstairs and she's probably in the same room as him? How the hell did he get out, you know? I don't know. It's just like, I know if it was me, Carl's age, and it was my mom in Lori's position, she'd be on my ass and be like, you're staying here, you ain't going anywhere, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. I don't know, she just aggravates me. That's the one character I hate, the one I would love to see go, sadly, because it breaks Rick pretty much, but she's gotta go. She is stupid. I mean, I love the actress. The actress is really cool. She's awesome. But her freaking character, God, I feel bad for her playing this character that is so, I don't know, unfit for this, you know? She wants to act like it's okay. That's the first problem, is you can't, because, okay, Carl got shot on accident, but he got shot. He lived. Well, if he died, she was like, okay, if he dies, you know, he doesn't have to live through this. We can't be like that, you know? That's just a horrible thing to say. And she tried to kill the baby she had inside of her. And it's like, you can't even give him a chance, you know? I mean, hell, freaking Carl lived, you know, despite being shot. So, I mean, if he can live through that, he wants to live, you know? It's just like, you can't just, you know, take away something without giving it a chance to grow, pretty much. But, I mean, you know, it happens. But, just the way she thinks and how she acts, I guess, is what bothers me. She pretty much told Rick to get rid of Shane. But she's thinking, well, he twisted my words. Well, no, he didn't. He took it as, you want him gone, so I'm going to take him out. So he tried to take him out when they dropped Randall off, but Shane was, you know, like, okay, I ain't doing this, you know, we're, whatever. And it's like, you can't, you know. Rick's like, you know what, he's my best friend, I'm going to give him a chance. And that was his first mistake, and Shane was the dumbass who was like, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, back down from trying to get Lori and whatnot, even though made Rick think that. And Rick is a very good guy. He's very protective, he's very strong, he's very brave, you know, to do this. And you gotta think of all of this weight he has on him, you know. It's breaking him, you know. You see that in the season finale, he's had enough. And I think if they kill Lori the way they did in the comics, which I doubt, because she's not even showing she's pregnant, and she has the baby, I'm pretty sure, before or after or during their stay at the prison, so I don't know. So I don't know. Comic Rick just loses it. And the thing I do like about Comic Rick is him and Andrea start having a thing, which is cool, I guess, you know. But I don't know if they'll do that in the show, if they even get rid of Lori. But they may just keep her there to annoy everybody. To be like, well, no, you know, I'm gonna, you know, stick around because, you know, I'm Lori and I don't go away that easily. I like the whole argument she had with Andrea in the kitchen. It just it shows that she really does think that everything is gonna be okay, and that she doesn't think the way Andrea does, because she's afraid to, and to admit that it's bad, you know. But yeah, I'll probably make another video talking about, Andrea and everybody else and stuff, because this one's really long. So yeah, bye.